So this week we're doing another Hobbyist Reacts video, and this time we're going back almost 4 years ago. During the last bull run, this individual built an amazing backyard home crypto mining shed, and I took a lot from this, and I researched a lot into this, asked a boatload of questions when I was building my own shed. So today, let's go ahead and dive in. So you guys aren't familiar with this individual. This is Kyle Eisenbarger, and his channel has been around for years. And I actually came across it a long time ago, last bull run, when building a mining shed was just an inkling in my eye. It was a speck. It was something I thought would be really cool, but I just never really could really leap into it. It was a cost thing. It really came down to it. And so I had come across his channel. And if we go back, his first video was from 3 years ago. And if we actually take an exact look at that time, let's go ahead and check out the first video. And we can click on it here, September 9th of 2021. And his video was one that I came across and fell in love with it. And his shed was nothing new, but it was done clean and it had an idea that I hadn't come across before. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at Kyle's Bitcoin mining shed. Today's video is sponsored by the team over at DEPIN. With the bull run in full swing, new crypto mining hardware is dropping every day, making right now the perfect time to purchase that ASIC miner that you've had your eyes on. I've been working with the team at BT Miners for several years now and can vouch for their customer service, fast shipping, and finally, competitive pricing. BT Miners always has stock in my favorite miners, like the Bitmain Antminer L9 and the S21 XP. And for home miners, the AlphaPex DG Home 1, the Volk Miner D1 Mini, and loads of Goldshell and Ice River miners. But guess what? BT Miners has a brand new ASIC repair facility in the United States to help customers struggling to find trusted, reliable repair centers stateside. Go check out BT Miners today via the link in the video description down below, as well as enjoy a discount code off your entire order with checkout code Hobbyist. All right, so we are over on Kyle's channel. I'm going to link it directly down below. And look at this. This is such a clean setup, and I love to see it. It doesn't stand out anything crazy. It almost looked like it was hand built, but some things to look at is the shed's off the ground a little bit. Has a nice gravel pad set up there. We have an exhaust fan in the upper corner that we do see. It's a shutter exhaust fan, probably 14 inches, maybe 16 inches there, but the shed is a really clean look. And you can see he's in a neighborhood. He has neighbors on all sides, but we have no windows here. We don't see anything crazy going on. And then you can see the electrical down there at the bottom, which was done really well. I mean, I don't even see any of the trench. So you could tell this has been around for quite some time. So let's go inside and take a look. All right, so stepping inside here, and I'll pause it along the way. He has his electrical panel right inside the door, which is a 200 amp sub panel that he has running back to his house, which is 400 amps. So he shows this off here, and most of the breakers that he does have in this shed are 20 amp. So they're 20 amp 240, which gives him 4,800 max, which is 100% on each of those breakers. And I'm going to go back there a tiny bit because what he did have is, we could see he has a workbench set up in here. So kudos to him. And something you're going to notice, and I'd love to chat with Kyle years later. His YouTube channel isn't active anymore. Wondering if he's still mining, how it's worked out. This man went the complete opposite direction that I did. Not to say my way is better than his or vice versa, but he insulated the crap out of this shed. Whereas my sheds, I've done zero insulation to them and really focused on airflow and not trying to control the temperature with the air coming in and out of there. I don't know how it worked out. I'll be very curious to see. But as he pans over and shows you his setup, this is what makes his setup very different. And what a lot of people actually pushed me to do when I first got started. And what is it? Well, he creates a hotbox. And a hotbox is a setup where you have the intake side, the cold side that we're standing on here in this video at the current moment, and you slot your ASICs into a isolated area, which is your hot box. So it separates your cold and your hot aisle with a barrier in between. And then in your hot aisle is that shutter fan that we saw there. And this was actually recommended to me by a lot of people as I started to run into challenges with my first ASIC setup, with just only being able to support 10 ASICs and it getting really hot. But this is really what, man, I was so locked in on his videos very early on. And here he has 3, I believe it's S19J Pros, and he has an L3. As I said, this is from 4 years ago. So these units were still very, very profitable. So let's go ahead and hit play here. Clean setup, has that fire extinguisher on the wall, which is great. Nice thing is too, he's not overcomplicating it. This setup makes it very easy to work on. The ASICs are right there, right in front of you. You can unslot them and reslot them very quickly. And there he was panning over because he was talking about the fact of opportunities to expand. Now here he has meter boxes in place, and I really like this, very clean with the plate look versus going with like getting a meter box itself. He does have the Drox meter, and he points out that he's running all 20 amp 240 volt breakers. So you can see here he's at 3,051 watts for the one S19J Pro, which is fine. 100% is at 4,800 watts, so he still has plenty of room to play with, and he's just below 240. It's like 238 to 239 volts listed there, and he's running all of them directly over into the outlets, and he has the Ethernet run. I mean, it's a really clean setup. The shed you can see is brand spanking new, and remember, he didn't have any windows in there, so it's really nicely lit inside of this shed currently right now. He has his own router in here as well as a switch. And as a reminder, you guys don't need to go crazy when it comes down to a network, especially with this setup, which you can get by with. So here he's going to open the door to that hot box. And I want to point out, just looking right away, I'm trying to pause it in a good spot. There we go. It's not sealed the best between the cold and the hot aisle. Now, this was like 4 years ago, so he could have improved this dramatically. But if you were to replicate something like this, just a recommendation, do a full stud out with 2x4s to stud out the hot box, and then go ahead and screw the actual foam board using large washers through the foam board into the 2x4 and seal up that room really, really good, because you have a lot of heat leak that could happen here, that a lot of that hot aisle can leak into your cold aisle and pull entirely through. So that's kind of what he's showing down through here. He does have some additional wiring for expansion through here. And there's that shutter fan that we saw earlier. Now, if you follow Kyle's channel, I do want to point out in later videos, this is an early video, he does expand to 2 shutter fans on both sides and expands that hot aisle. He also expands his intake as well. And we haven't even shown the intake yet. We'll show that. We'll see that in just a minute here. So he puts those shutter fans up high so that as the heat goes into that hot box, it rises and gets sucked entirely out of the unit, which is a great idea. A lot of people had recommended it to me, and sometimes I wish I would have went that way. Here he's set up for expansion. You can see all those boxes available for additional 20 amp breakers as needed. And it was something that he, was thinking about doing even 4 years ago and preparing for, which I think is really smart to always have expansion on your mind. So here he shows off the workbench there that we saw, and you can actually start to see, and here they are. So this is a second Hobbyist Reacts video where we've seen somebody who has done intake in the floor. Now, it's absolutely not enough. In future videos, he actually goes and expands into more intake, because he found that he couldn't even put filters in here because the filters would actually restrict the airflow too much. Now, if you're going to be exhausting, you kind of have to keep in mind that a rule of thumb that I've always gone with is, and it's something that I'm continuing to try to improve upon, is you want double the amount of intake versus exhaust so that you always have positive airflow and not negative. It's something that I'm even dealing with now to increase my positive airflow. In reality, we learned from other videos that we saw out there with other content creators and other shed builds that we had in our Hobbyist React series that like this entire floor could have been covered with these, but he has it raised off the ground, which is smart. That's why he went with his shed originally with this design. And this is a really, really cool concept with these grates in the floor. The challenge was he talked about with here was actually putting filters on, keeping them in place, and also the fact of filtration versus actual not restricting of the airflow. But it's a really cool idea. It keeps it very, kind of discreet. And I like it. I really like it. I'm still waiting to see if it gets perfected perfectly because it's a fine balance between airflow and also filtration. You got to have both, and you got to find a good compromise for that. And that's something I continue to battle in my own shed. Dude, look how much insulation he has. Even on the floor, he has a stack of insulation. This is like no joke at all. He went so hardcore with this. Just a different mindset. I mean, there's no rule book for building sheds for crypto or Bitcoin mining. So I totally get it. So at this part in the video, he is talking about opportunities to expand, something that he's thinking about doing, expanding over that hotbox, adding in more outlets. He talks about that in this part of the video. He does talk about how easy it has been to build out with the way this is designed and slotted. And kind of he talked about putting kind of an aisle down the middle and having a hotbox on each side. As I said, this is an early video of his. And I'm going to make sure I link his channel because I want you guys to go over and check it out. Here's actually the L3 right there, because he does have additional videos down the road. He has some friends over to help him build out. They pull out that hot box. They put in a more powerful shutter fan in there. And he does end up putting in some additional intakes because just because you kind of increase your exhaust and with a shutter fan, you have to go ahead and support it with intake on the other side. You can't just keep putting a bigger and bigger fan and hoping that it's going to cool things down. Believe it or not, when you have too much negative airflow, it actually creates an oven effect and actually heats up inside of the shed because the shed is breathing through a straw. The intake just isn't enough. I've learned this. I've made plenty of mistakes over the last 5 years doing something exactly like that. And I've learned, and I still learn today. I always underestimate. Oh, I'll be enough intake, and then, oh, I need more, and I need more. It's, as I said, something I'm dealing with my current shed that I actually am in the process of ordering even more gable vents to expand on the intake side, the positive airflow side of my current shed that we do have. That's going to wrap things up there, checking out Kyle's early Bitcoin mining shed. I love to see it. I'm going to leave links to his channel directly down below. Guys, please leave comments on some of the things maybe I missed, some of your thoughts on this design. Would love to get your input. Are you enjoying these Hobbyist React videos, seeing these other mining setups from all over the place, from current or even going back 3 to 4 years ago like we did with Kyle's shed today? Guys, it's going to wrap things up. If you know somebody or you have a setup that you'd love for me to go ahead and take a look at, please reach out to me, thehobbyistminer@gmail.com. I would love to check it out. See you guys next time. Sorry to interrupt your video, but check this out. I constantly get emails from the community asking me about trustworthy hosting facilities in the United States that I recommend. Well, I got you covered. Listen up. A few months back, I visited BlockOps Mining's brand new facility in Central Arkansas. The team there was super professional, knowledgeable, and everyday miners like you and I. After visiting the facility, I sent them a few of my ASIC miners for hosting and have been super happy with their service and communication. Go contact BlockOps Mining directly down below in the video description and tell them the Hobbyist Miner sent you for great pricing on miners and hosting.